Hey witches, welcome back to my channel. This is Wordy Witch Writes and my name is Deidre. I am a self-published author of 3 novels, 2 young adult paranormal mysteries, and a clean contemporary Christmas romance. You can find those novels linked in the description below if you are interested. Hey, today, as you can probably tell by the title, is a very exciting day. I have finished book 2 in my paranormal cozy mystery series. So I have the breakdown of the numbers right in front of me, and we're going to get right into that. If you haven't been watching my channel, I started a paranormal cozy mystery series about 2-ish, 3 months ago, and I've been working on that. I wrote the first book and I finished it mid-November, and then I challenged myself to write the second book in the series in 1 month. And in order to do that, I chose to do a outline method that I had never tried before, which was the index card method. I'll link the video where I go over that index card method if you're interested, if you haven't checked it out, or if you just want to see what I did compared to other people. And you can, that is why I was able to write as quickly as I did. So just for those of you who are wondering how can a good novel be written in 28 days, I think what a lot of people don't realize is that you can't have a good novel until you have writing on the page. So if you're struggling with that whole writer's block thing and you're not sure, like what I like to do is just have, and there's lots of authors who do this, and it's called a shitty first draft or a scrappy rough draft. There's different terms for it. There's actually a book called Scrappy Rough Draft. I've read it. It's really good. You should check it out. But it is all about, like, you can't build if you don't have anything to write. And if you get so caught up in that every single word has to be perfect, every single sentence has to be beautiful, then you're never going to write anything. So my method is just to kind of like get it all out on the page, and then I go back through and I do my own developmental editing to make it better and stronger. And I usually have 3 drafts of a book. I do a rough first draft, and then I edit it, and then I send it to beta readers who give me like really good feedback on like what needs to change, what doesn't need to, what's not working, what is working, what they want to see more of, things like that. And then I edit it one more time, and then I send it to a professional editor to do like a copy edit on it and get some feedback that way. So that is my process. I'm not saying that this is like a book that is ready to be published. I am saying that I wrote the second book in the series first draft in 28 days. So let's just go ahead and get into the numbers. So like I just said, I wrote it in 28 days. The word count was 53,000 about. It was just under. And to break that down, I wrote approximately 1,900 words a day to hit that goal. That is not actually what happened. I did have a great day where I wrote 7,692 words, and then I had days where I was only writing. My worst day was 629, but there were several days that I was averaging like between 750 and 850. So the most important thing that I took away from this process was that I just needed to sit down and write. And that's like the advice all writers get, is that you have to sit down and you have to write. But like until you actually make yourself do it day after day after day, it becomes like you're just like, oh, but it's just gonna come to me and there's gonna be a muse, right? And it's just gonna flow out of me. And that's not what it is. It's a grind, it's a job, and you have to make yourself do it. But I'm so glad that I did, because like now I can continue forward with my plan. A lot of you may be wondering why I'm working so quickly. Well, there's a whole video where I do talk about why I'm writing this way and like my publishing goals and plan there, and I'll link that over here or over here. I don't know. It'll be on the screen someplace if you do want to check that out. It was my very first video where I do talk about my plan. In future videos, I am going to talk more in depth about my marketing plan and like when I'm going to be releasing and how I'm going to be releasing these books. So stay tuned for that. But overall, I do feel a sense of like relief that this book is done, and I am very proud of myself. I did learn a couple of things, as well as more than just like, I do obviously have to sit down and write the book, but like it became like a habit. I was just instantly, even on the weekends, writing, even on Sundays, which was always really hard for me to sit down and write. I think I took one Sunday off, and it was last week because I just did not feel well. Even Chris was not feeling well. There was just this weird like sickness going around where you weren't really sick, but you didn't have any energy. And I don't know. Several of my coworkers, several of his coworkers also felt that way. Maybe it was just something in the air. I don't know. But I did manage to write and every day other than a couple of days. So it was really like a good process for me. And I do still really enjoy the creative process. And at the end, the words were really just starting to flow out of me. And I feel like I had a lot of epiphanies at the end of like things to add. And as you guys know, if you've watched my videos, I don't go back. If I think of something that I need to add to make this moment better, I highlight that moment that I'm in and I make a note for myself. So when I'm back editing, I know that I need to go back and add this before. So it's like kind of already editing, but I don't stop the moment that I'm in to go find the other moment to fix it. Like I just say like, hey, you need to add this. And it really helps my writing process. And there were several times when I was scrolling through looking at the data that I was like, fix this later or add more later or need more details later. So Chris and I might need to take a road trip coming in a couple of weeks so I can get like, I need to go to like a ski town and like take pictures and like journal about what I'm seeing so I can translate it into the story a little bit. And there's a couple within an hour or two drive of us. So, and I don't think he'll be sad if I say, I really want to go to this place right now. I'm sure he'll be fine with it. So, and maybe we'll go hiking or something while we're there. And so if it's not snowy, I don't like hiking in snow. You have to get like special things for your shoes and they don't look comfortable. I like hiking. I'm one of those people that likes hiking and complains the entire time I'm hiking until I get to the pretty place. And then I'm like, I can't wait to do this again. And then I do it again and it's miserable. But I think that's just hiking in general. So the other thing that I learned is that I really liked how I broke it down by like day so I could see my progress. Something that I want to add in this next writing phase, it's going to be a couple of months before I write book 3. But when I do it, I really want to add in a journaling process for myself where after every writing session or at the end of every day, I like reflect on what was going on and like why I was able to write or why I wasn't able to write that day and like maybe figure out some of my own habits and things that are going on. And I don't know. I'm sure there are writing journals out there. I think I'm just going to make my own so it's customized to me. If you do have a writing process that you follow or know of or suggestions on how to track that, you can leave a comment below and I'll check it out and maybe that's something that would work for me as well. Or if you're a reader, do you do something similar for your reading? Do you like have a reading journal where you keep track of like your daily reading or your weekly or your monthly and like maybe it works for you in that sense. So go ahead and just leave a comment below about your journaling process if you have one and what works for you and any suggestions you have for me. So now that that's done, this next couple of weeks, I think I'm going to give myself 3-ish weeks to edit book 1. So I'm really excited to go back through and edit. I love editing and I love this type of editing, which is developmental editing. Just going back through and like making sure the story is solid, that there aren't any gaps, that it's consistent, that the characters are there, that this world is being built properly. So I'm really excited to start that process. I'm going to start that probably tomorrow and it's going to be, there's going to be a good video about it. I'm going to record myself over the next couple of days so you guys can kind of see what I do at the beginning and then talk about what I'm going to do over the like subsequent weeks as I'm editing. And then also I have picked up a new book that I'm going to try reading. This is called Gentle Writing Advice. I feel like I was being very harsh to myself, so I saw this recommended and I'm going to check it out and maybe be a little bit nicer to myself the next couple of weeks. I was pushing myself. It was a challenge. I purposely challenged myself to write it. And I feel really good. Like, if I put my nose to the grindstone, that I am able to produce a book at this rate, because I am self-publishing. I have the ability to like mess with like how often I publish, how many books I publish a year. Right now my goal is to try to shoot for 4 books a year. Next year I actually have I have like a realistic plan and an ambitious plan for next year, and my ambitious plan is 5 books next year. My realistic plan is 4 books. So it doesn't seem like a lot of difference, but it is, just within like editing time, writing time, promotional time, balancing it all that out. So I'm still like tweaking my like marketing plan. Once I have that, I might share a little bit of it with you. So I realize now that I have never really introduced you to my main character. So my main character's name is Willow, and she is a former teacher turned baker, at-home baker. She is going to try and run a business out of her home for baking. She's inherited a cabin from her maternal grandmother who had just passed away, and she learns when she moves into this cabin in this mountain community that her family is not only witches, but they are also the protectors of this little town. They are in charge of making sure that nothing bad really happens there. And because her grandmother had been sick for so long, that protection has kind of like faltered, and forces have come in to try and do some harm in the first book. And so Willow has to fight against them and figure out what she needs to do. There's a little bit of a mystery in there of like who is doing all of this and why they're doing it, and so she's trying to figure out that while she's trying to balance out her own new life that she's doing. So she's leaving teaching after so many years. I've purposely made my character a little bit like me, just because they're easier to write if there's a little bit of me in each of my characters. And so she now lives in this town. She was from this town. She lives in this town. So I didn't want it to be one of those that it was like the woman who had this successful career and then she decides to leave it all behind. She had a good career. She was already in the community, so that makes sense why she's like so familiar with it. And I really enjoy Willow. I think she's humble, and I think she really enjoys a challenge, but she's not like super confident in herself. She has confidence, but she's not overconfident. She also knows when to ask for help. She has some really great friends. Her best friend's name is Aiden, and he owns the local boutique store for clothing, and she spends a lot of time there with him, getting the gossip. She of course meets a man that she's very interested in this book. She's just trying new things, which I think for a lot of people, especially my age, we're all like desperate to try something new. We did the thing that was safe. We got the safe jobs and it didn't really work out for us. So I feel like Willow is that representation of like doing something you're passionate about and trying something new and bold. And so maybe you're not in the position that you could be Willow, but you could live that experience through Willow where you're like ready to try something new, and she's magically gotten all of the things that she needs to make this happen, so she's going to pursue it despite people not wanting her to. So she is in charge of protecting this town. Because her grandmother was sick for so long, the like protection has kind of failed, and so I think it's a good book. I'm gonna obviously go back. I think my book is good. Hopefully someday you read it and you also think my book is good. So I am looking for a couple more beta readers for this book. You can drop a comment below in the description you can drop a comment below if you are interested in being a beta reader. I can just send you a form. You can fill it out. It'll be a little mini application to make sure that you are a good fit for you and I. I think I need like 2 more. I've recruited a couple of friends and family to read my book and give me feedback on it. Okay guys, so exciting that it's done. I hope you are intrigued by my main character, and if you want to be a beta reader, please go ahead and put that comment in below. If you have not already, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed to my videos. Then you are alerted every time a new one goes out and are able to watch and stay up to date on upcoming things in the world of cozy mysteries. So thanks, guys. Talk to you later.